Well, it's official. The red pill has gone mainstream. This video is being inspired by quite an interesting experience I had at the gym today. So, was at the gym and they have a bunch of TVs on the wall and they are just playing mainstream cable, whatever. And I am on a treadmill beside a 70-year-old woman, and we're both just looking forward watching Dr. Phil. Now, who do we see on Dr. Phil? Andrew Tate and Rollo Tomasi on Dr. Phil talking about the red pill. What a sight that was. I'm somebody that's been around the internet communities for quite a bit, and the red pill was very much a forum-based thing. It's kind of a meme, a play on the Matrix. All of this stuff very much was in the shadows of the internet, and more of these shadow communities that you would see on like 4chan and just these obscure forums are now becoming super mainstream. When you see a guy like Rollo on national TV, that is bizarre. So here I am in the gym with a bunch of normies watching Rollo just absolutely eviscerate people. What a sight. So with that being said, today I'm going to give you my take on all of the various pill ideologies with the red pill, the blue pill, the black pill, and the white pill, and give you my opinion on where they are right and where they are wrong based off of my life experience. I think you will find this interesting because my life experience has been very atypical, and I have experience in all of these realms. I've been around these communities for a very long time before they even officially had these labels, just being an internet sleuth for as long as I've been. So we're going to start off with the red pill. And in my opinion, the red pill is the most valid and the most valuable of all of the pill ideologies. It has its problems, absolutely. But the difference between the red pill and many of these others is that erring on the side of the red pill is far easier to correct for. The red pill is very much an ideology where you prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And when the red pill goes too far, it's usually an issue that is very easily corrected for, or they might just make things out to be more than they're cracked up to be. One of the problems with the red pill is that the average viewer only sees the low-hanging fruit, which for the most part is just dunking on women. And that's a big part of the red pill because it's just fun to dunk on women. A lot of people enjoy it because the big part of the red pill is the red pill rage, where genuinely a lot of guys do get fucked over in some way. They get divorced, cheated on, whatever their particular plight is. Something bad happens to them and they lash out. So that's what people see immediately is the dunking on women, because quite frankly, it is some of the most entertaining part of the red pill. It's just funny to see YouTube clips of women losing their minds when the wage gap gets debunked with the most elementary arguments of like, well, why would anyone hire men? And just seeing their minds fucking explode at the most elementary counter arguments to ridiculous shit. So that's one of the big problems with the red pill, is that they don't actually see the good parts. And the things the red pill gets right is all of the genuinely good self-improvement advice. The red pill is full of that. And what people don't get about the red pill is they think, oh, it's so hard on women. All it does is shit talk women. But what they don't get is that the red pill, if you think it's hard on women, you should see how hard it is on men. There are tons of clips of a guy like Kevin Samuels, who is a black red pill dude, who is just brutalizing men, calling them, oh, so you're fat, broke, and you're a loser, who's not only all of those things, but is also lazy. The red pill straight up bullies men into self-improvement by calling them pussies. That is pretty much a theme of the red pill, is you got to get your shit together. If you don't, you're kind of a bitch. And many people see that and go, wow, that is fucking toxic. Holy crap. Why is that the message? But those people don't understand that men and women respond to motivation differently. There's a reason why football players and football coaches teach the way they teach, because it works. Men respond more favorably in a lot of situations to being torn down and then being rebuilt back up. They got to tear them down to build them up. And that's been a theme in shaping men, whether it's the military, sports, whatever it may be. Boys and men respond to people in authority figures, respectable figures, tearing them down and building them back up. Whereas women, it's much, that environment, that coaching environment is much more encouraging, and we're just going to build people up. Men, a lot of times you get results by having somebody screaming in your face, telling you to tough it up and get over it and whatever. And that's just a difference between the sexes. Another problem with a lot of the red pill personalities, and honestly just people of this particular mentality, even outside of entertainers, is that they have a bit of an abrasive personality by design. That abrasion is almost like a way they like test people to see how they react to the abrasiveness of their statements. And quite frankly, in a lot of these red pill spaces, these people are entertainers. While they may be self-improvement people trying to sell courses, at the end of the day, they have to be entertaining and captivating to get an audience and to get new eyeballs. So many of the things they say may be the most extreme, ridiculous version of that thing to rope people in to their actual message. Andrew Tate is probably the biggest example of this, because he'll just say crazy fucking shit. Like his whole rant on meal prep being gay, yet if you actually like look at his other content, he's like, yeah, you know, you got to watch what you eat and like work out and shit if you want to look good. Like clearly the dude takes his fucking nutrition seriously. You don't look like that if you don't. But he's got a whole thing about meal prep being gay because it's a comedic bit. It's funny. It's not actually real. But people view that shit as if it's genuinely all fucking real. And they see that. And again, in today's polarized society, people have a very difficult time taking the good parts and discarding the bad parts, or in this case, taking the good parts and discarding the actual just like entertainment comedy bits. What's funny is that the term red pill is relatively new, but the practice itself isn't. It was just called getting your shit together for the most part. Because in 2014, I was red-pilled. But as many of you know, that term was not popular then. There weren't internet communities. There were, but they were very niche and in the shadows. It was not anywhere near as mainstream. A lot of these personalities just didn't exist or were much smaller than they are now. It wasn't a thing. But I was red-pilled because I was in a very interesting situation, being a full-time YouTuber and playing WildStar all day, every day, 16 hours a day. What's funny about that is that the types of people that can play video games 16 hours a day are either complete losers or complete winners. And I got to talk to a lot of super interesting people that were, you know, high-powered business people that had sold their business, or they were lawyers, or just very successful people. And being a fly on the wall in the conversations these people had really changed my mentality. Being able to talk to divorce lawyers and investment bankers, and just having these people rattle off their life experiences and what they had learned, and just being a fly on the wall in these conversations gave me an education that I don't even know how much value I extracted from it, but it changed my life. Literally playing WildStar, a failed fucking MMO, changed my life just due to the amount of education I got from these guys that I really owe a lot to this group of individuals. I really wish I would have kept contact with them, but just them talking about finances and setting up your life. Like, they were giving me advice, just the cheat codes to life on like, hey, you know, you should really just live below your means in your 20s and start investing your money and setting yourself up to make money via long-term capital gains. Because, Zyback, did you know that you can make $1 billion through long-term capital gains and pay half the taxes? What, you know, this is what a Roth IRA is. This is what this tax advantage, like, just giving me all of the cheat codes to life. And then somebody else would give me like like just hearing the way they approach the world socially and tackled certain issues, and just the way they thought about shit just really changed my life. So I'm sitting there as just like a fat fucking slob. WildStar is dead. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, because I don't want to do YouTube anywhere near as much. I'm just done doing it full time. I'm burned out on it. So I got to make some changes. I don't know what to change, but I just start changing shit. So I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll just get into shape. I'll just get in good shape. You know, I'll get in good shape, start a new, you know, learn a trade, start making some money, start getting my life in order. I don't know really what I want to do, but let's just start getting in order. And, man, that really changed a lot. I started turbocharging my life and honestly just sort of paying attention to what was going on, like paying attention to the news to kind of catch like financial trends and, hey, is the market going to dip? Maybe I'll buy some stock. And it's not very exciting, but just racking up base hits. In terms of investing, really the best advice I ever got was just get on first base. Like, you don't need a home run. I'm not looking to get some crazy, you know, Bitcoin pump and catch a big windfall. No, dude, I'm just looking to catch the market when it's down a little bit and buy then and wait. Just get on first base. Because if you are the kind of guy that is consistently, what do you call a baseball player that gets on first base over and over and over again and occasionally hits a home run every now and then? Very rarely, but he gets on first base a lot. You know what you call that guy? It's a good player. Guy that gets on first base ends up scoring a lot of runs just by getting on first base. So getting that kind of advice early on was invaluable. And eventually, as time goes on, these incremental changes will make you entirely unrecognizable from your past self in a very literal sense. I'm somebody that had an extreme transformation, to say the very least. People I went to high school with genuinely do not recognize me. I've had people that I went to high school with introduce themselves to me, and I'm like, yeah, bro, we had Spanish class together. I'm Logan. And they're like, and they just completely have no idea. I still get YouTube comments to this day from people that have watched my stuff in Wrath of the Lich King and go, what? That is crazy. I used to watch your stuff back then. You look so different. You know, you got the weight off, whatever. You are totally different from how you used to be. I'm glad you're doing well. I love seeing comments like that because I have self-doubts as well, just as much as anybody else. But eventually, you know, you might not see the changes because you live in your own body every day and you don't. But people who don't see you very often, you will be an entirely different person. And that's what happens to a lot of people that go that red pill route, is that they just incrementally improve their lives and become entirely better versions of themselves. And it's crazy, but guys like Andrew Tate genuinely are the shot in the ass, that they're that captivating, entertaining figure that shakes somebody out of the fucking coma they're in. And they might say some dumb shit like meal prep is gay, but someone of average intelligence will clearly understand that a lot of this shit is a fucking joke. It's a meme. It's there to be funny and entertaining and not have everything be a boring ass self-help course. But yeah, it blows people's minds when somebody memeing around like Andrew Tate actually improves people's lives. I bet he is genuinely, really, somebody in the comments will probably say, Andrew Tate shook me out of my coma and got me to quit being a fucking fat slob. I guarantee it's happened to a bunch of people. So you gotta take the good parts of people and discard the bad. And I feel like that's where the red pill struggles, is that there are just controversial figures within the red pill, like anywhere. But they're very, very easy to like castigate and put into a category and say, oh, these guys are bad because of this bad thing they said or this joke or whatever. What a lot of people hate to admit about the red pill is that it genuinely works. The people that actually follow the advice and have success with the advice and get their money right, get in shape, and start developing just a little bit more social skills, they usually get incredible results. And then those people become almost zealots of the red pill because they had their red pill awakening moment, myself included. I even though I wasn't really, roped into the red pill official because it was happened before my time, but I tell you what, my life dramatically changed once I got in shape, once I got a little bit of financial freedom, once I developed a little bit of social intelligence and understood the social dynamics and hierarchies and whatnot. Once I understood that we're kind of just cavemen with iPhones, once I viewed everything through the evolutionary psychology lens, it's like the cheat codes to life. And I can't help but just be like, yeah, these guys are kind of onto something. Yes, there's some dumb shit, but man, they're really onto something. And I tell you what, you get your finances right, you get in shape, you become a little bit more charismatic. I don't even want to say confident. I don't think I'm a particularly confident person, but I've set myself up to where I think I'm just worthy of being respected, and I kind of just am who I am. And you may not like me, and that's great, but there's a lot of other people that do, so I just don't give a fuck. Is that confidence? I don't know. Is that arrogance? Maybe, but it's a lot better than being a fat fucking slob. That's what I used to be. The old Zyback fucking sucked. The new Zyback, way better. Get way better results. So here's what happened to me when I started getting in shape and just getting my life together. Women treat you much better. This is pretty obvious. I think everybody expects that, you know, women are going to just treat you better if you got your shit together and you look good and you're in better shape and you're more personable, whatever. Strangers treat you better. This is, again, fairly obvious. People just treat you better if you look better. I think this is not really news to a lot of people. But then it starts getting weird. People look to you more often as a leader. This is really bizarre, especially if you had just started, like if you just start a new job, like if you're like a big, muscular, tall, menacing looking guy, for whatever fucking reason, back me up in the comments if you have also experienced this. People just think you know what's going on. Like, I just start a new welding job, and people are like, "What do we do, Logan? What do you think?" I'm like, I just started working here, and it's got to be some caveman programming where you just, big guy, strong, he's leader, like he knows, right? And I have no idea. Another weird superpower you get is that people just start talking to you and telling you random stuff. Like, people just come up to me now and just start talking to me and telling me their deepest secrets. To be like, yeah, and I'm cheating on my wife. And like, people just come to me with their fucking problems. Like, I can help. I don't know what it is, but they just do. For whatever reason, people are more comfortable around you and like just want to be around you. And it's got to be some sort of monkey brain caveman carryovers. I don't know why. I can't explain it to you. Another thing you'll notice is that you have more influence over people. And this is incredibly obvious to anyone who does sales. Anyone who sells anything at a high level, for the most part, the guys look sharp. They dress sharp. A lot of them are in very good shape. They've got the look. They look professional. They look like they are worthy of being respected, because at the end of the day, we're cavemen, monkey brains, and you want the validation of somebody that you respect. And if you have the look, you are more likely to have the respect. Same goes for the women. A lot of the women that are killer in sales or real estate or whatever, they look good. They're pretty. They're hot. They know that validation from an attractive woman is incredibly valuable. In car sales, some of the best salespeople are women, because women have like a weird superpower where they can relate to the women more easily because they are women, but also they can validate the men. So it's, I don't know, if I was a salesperson for in the car industry, being a hot woman has got to be the best of every scenario. And now on to my ultimate red pill moment, the thing I did not see coming at all. I can expect women to treat me better. I could expect strangers to treat me better, but I did not expect my own family to noticeably treat me better. Now, I want to say I love my family. They love me. Even when I was at my fattest, most greasiest butter golem state, they would have invited me into their home and done anything. They'd have died for me. I have no issues with my family whatsoever. But I noticed that once I got in shape, once I started making moves that were respectable and just getting my shit together, I could tell that they engaged with me in a different way. They paid attention to me more when I was talking. What I said had weight. I could tell they were paying attention a little more. When I walked in the room, like, people noticed more. Just very subconscious things, but absolutely a night and day difference. And I think that anybody that's gone through a dramatic transformation like I have will back me up in that the world is totally different. When you get your shit together, and I'm not just talking about physically, I'm talking about like mentally, financially, all of it. When you go from not having your shit together to having your shit together, the grass is greener. And there's a lot of red pill people that the red pill is what got them to do that. So good luck defeating that ideology, because you ain't getting there under the current system, because the current way things are being taught with, I don't know, what you see on what's being taught in public schools is just teaching. It's garbage. It's fucking garbage. Like, Andrew Tate is actually doing better than the fucking school systems in a lot of ways, which is crazy to say, but holy crap. And I think what the primary thing that the red pill teaches is that winning is the antidote to your sadness in a lot of ways. Now, you can be sad and have it all. I think we've all probably met somebody that had it all and was fucking miserable. But most of the men that are depressed and are sad should be fucking sad, because they're fat, broke, lonely. They get no attention from women. They're depressed. And of course they are. Wouldn't it be a problem if they weren't? And I think what the red pill kind of teaches is that nobody's going to save you. That seems to be the theme, is that nobody's coming to help you. Now, society may say somebody should come to help you. We should do something to help you, but nobody ever will. Nobody's ever going to give a fuck. Nobody ever comes for it's all about the women. The women and the children get off the boat first. Nobody cares about men, and nobody has ever cared about men, and nobody will ever care about men. That's how it is. Maybe 10,000 more years of evolution, we may evolve out of that. I don't know, but it didn't happen anytime soon. It didn't happen in our lifetime. Nobody is coming to save you. And that seems to be the theme for the red pill, is that you have to do the work. You have to save you. And I think at least that, while it is a brutal message, is far more honest than whatever the mainstream narrative is about what men should be. Because, quite frankly, the reason why the red pill is as popular as it is because people have taken the ideology and had success with it. If they didn't have success with it, nobody would care. Now on to where the red pill goes wrong, and where it goes wrong is at the extremes. You do not need to be a multimillionaire flying around in a private jet with your Bugatti and a yacht full of 100 supermodels. You don't need to do that to be happy. You don't even need to get anywhere close to that. And I think, honestly, a lot of the people that sell the red pill lifestyle, they are these people, because that is easy to sell. If you have a Bugatti and a yacht and you're on boats doing shit, that's very marketable. It's very marketable to impressionable people. But you don't need that to actually get the message and improve your life. Quite frankly, it's just a very simple checklist. Are you fat? Are you overweight? Don't do that. Get in shape. Are you skinny? Do you not have any muscle mass? Are you just a twig? Put on some muscle. Are you broke? Just get out of debt. Like, you don't need to be rich. Just start off by getting out of debt. Then, once you get out of debt, try to get some financial independence. Try to get to the point to where you don't need your job. So many people need their job, where if they got fired or laid off, they're scrambling. Try to get to the point to where you don't give a fuck if you get fired. You don't give a fuck if you get laid off. Maybe you can't. Maybe you don't work a job for a year. Maybe the economy is bad and whatever. Develop your life and try to get to the point where you have like some legitimate anti-fragility is the word, where it's just like, man, shit could really go bad and I'm fine. Get to that point. You don't need nice cars, fancy apartments. You don't need all that bullshit. Just try to get to that point. I am not a multimillionaire. I don't have fuck you money. What I like to say is that I have I'm sorry you feel that way money. I am not somebody that can ride off into the sunset and just stop working and not worry about money whatsoever. But I do have a lot of financial independence. Things can go bad for a long time and I will be fine. If I get fired from my job, I will be fine. If I can't find a job right away, I will be fine. But how did I get to that point? Well, I drive a Chevy sedan. It is a sensible car. Nothing about my life is financed. I make no payments. Nothing about my life is fake. I own everything in my life. I live a very modest life. I live below my means. I've done that for many years, and that has set me up to give me financial independence and a large degree of agency in my life. I'm just not a slave. How did I get to that point? Living modestly. This apartment is fucking weird. It's just this weird old building I live in that's like, it's just bizarre. I could live in a nicer place, but why? Do I really value that? Or do I value my money, buying my time, and my freedom? Easy choice. Don't give a fuck about living in a fancy apartment or having a big house, because why? I don't even have stuff. Because stuff, I don't really, the stuff, well, why do I need a couch? Why do I need this shit? Like, I just don't. I'm not even a minimalist. I just don't need this shit at all. I think the red pill definitely goes off the rails with what success looks like. And success in the red pill lens is like, you better be making millions of dollars a year or you are fucking up and are a failure. But the reality is that relative to the rest of the population, if you just have a degree of financial independence, if you're not fat, if you have an 800 credit score, if you just own your car and don't have a car payment, you don't even have to have a nice car. If you just don't have a car payment, if you don't have a mortgage, if you are in somewhat decent shape, if you have some degree of agency in your life, you are so far ahead of the average person that you are like the Andrew Tate. I mean, the average person cannot afford a $500 emergency if their fridge goes out. Just be better than that. Just try to be better than that at first. You don't need to be a multimillionaire with a Bugatti right away. Just be not in debt and not fat and just not a complete pushover. And you'll notice that you start having a lot of success pretty quickly, because the average person can't put that part together. Another problem with the red pill is that the ultimate reward of being successful within the red pill, according to a lot of the popular and prolific red pill practitioners, is fucking a bunch of hoes. And I'm not talking about women. I'm not saying all women are hoes. I'm saying that hoes are hoes. And the red pill is correct in its assessment that, yes, if you become successful and financially independent and you look good, you will get the attention of hoes. Absolutely. I can tell you, it absolutely is very much a real thing. But it's not the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that it's made out to be. It is not the ultimate. It's not what you think it is. It's not as great as it's made out to be. And it's certainly not worth all of the work that it takes to become these mega winners that many of these people become. Because anyone that has had experience with hoes knows that it ain't what it's cracked up to be. So to talk from personal experience, I live in Radford, Virginia, which is the home of Radford University, right in my backyard. It is a school that is predominantly female. I think 70% of the attendees of Radford University are women. And it's not exactly Harvard. There are a lot of hoes. I live in the mecca of hoes. This is the place you want to be if you're in the hoe market. And while I have engaged in behavior that is irresponsible, I certainly do not regret it. I don't have any regrets. I will not be sitting on my deathbed crying about what I have done in the past. But I will tell you right now that it's absolutely overrated. And anyone that has engaged in the degenerate activities that I've engaged in will probably tell you the same thing. And it's not overrated for the reasons you may think. It's overrated from the most selfish sexual level. It is not the optimal play. So let's break this down. I am a very basic, red-blooded American man. I want to have good sex with hot women, right? That's the goal. That's why you work so hard. That's why you do all these things, right? The problem is that you don't actually get that when you engage with hoes. And anyone that knows. Hoes are not going to be giving you good sex. It just doesn't happen. Most of the time, you're getting some sloppy, drunk sex that is pretty mediocre. It is the Little Caesars of sex. You'll still eat it. You're hungry. You're still going to eat it. You're not going to take it back. You're not going to throw it away, but you're not going to write home about it. That is a lot of the time. When it's not that, you are getting just another day in the office sex. What's really ironic about the super slutty girls at the parties or the women that are showing it all on Instagram or Tinder or whatever is that you would think that they would be good in bed, but they're just not most of the time. When you see that woman that is dressed like an absolute prostitute shaking her ass, a lot of men wrongly assume that she's doing that because she's just got to have cocks inside her and she's just loves sucking dick. The reality is that she's addicted to attention and validation. A lot, and I mean a lot, of the women that act this way are not even really that in this, like they're just not even that sexual. It's not even good. It's totally bizarre. Now some of them are soldiers. Some of them really do walk the walk and talk the talk. But I would say most of them, it's like fraud. Another thing the red pill gets wrong is the obsession with fucking a bunch of different women via one-night stands. And again, anyone that has done this knows this is overrated, but they are preaching this message to people that have never done it and think that it's really all that. And here's the thing is that it's not. One-night stands in general, not great. I don't want them, actually. Like, I want to engage with women more than once because, quite frankly, the first time you have sex with a woman is usually not that great. Usually you are trying to figure out what each other like. It's a little awkward. Maybe she's a little nervous. But the second time you fuck, it's a lot better. The fifth time, way better. The more you do it, the better you get. So why would you do one-night stands? One-night stands are, I don't know. I don't understand the obsession with it. Again, I'm a guy that wants to have good sex. I don't care about having weird, sloppy, awkward, fucking lame sex. Even if you, now there are, sometimes you do, the first time you go at it, it's genuinely very good. But even then, I bet the fifth time's better. I bet once you optimize that experience and really figure out what she likes and she figures out what you like, it's better. And then the most obvious thing is that the sex is better when the woman genuinely likes you. If the girl you're with actually likes you as a human, in addition to liking the way you are physically, it's just better. When you both like each other, it's just better. And when you both figure out what each other like, it's even better on top of better. It's just a more optimal, even from a purely physical, selfish, don't give a fuck, just want a nut mentality. It's better than one-night stands and fucking hoes. And the last thing the red pill gets wrong is they like to glamorize having a bunch of different women, or the spinning plates theory, where you have multiple different women you're dating and multiple different relationships. That shit, dude, that is crazy. That is an exhausting way to live your life. First of all, it's a lot of time. It's incredibly chaotic. I've done it, and it's just absurdly overrated. It really, really is. Having a bunch of women in your life makes it incredibly difficult to stay disciplined and improve other aspects of your life. Like, let's say you're dating 2 or 3 girls and you're trying to get a promotion at work. Like, good luck, dude. Good luck trying to perform at work on low sleep with all these other distractions. It's incredibly difficult to keep your foot on the gas. And even if you're trying to get in better shape, good luck staying on your diet if you're hanging out with women constantly and you're going to bars and eating, restaurant food. It's incredibly difficult to stay disciplined and to stay on your mission, for lack of a better term, when you are just constantly subjected to the chaotic state of dealing with multiple women. Even if you're with a genuinely good girl, even if you're dating one girl and you really like her and she really likes you, even that is hard. It's hard to stay disciplined because you just want to hang out with your girl. You like her, you go out to restaurants, you get complacent. Maybe you don't go to the gym, you hang out with her instead. Maybe you eat too many breadsticks. It's hard to stay on point even if you're with somebody that is good for you, much less a bunch of chaotic hoes. So again, I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's completely not, I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's the worst thing ever and that I'm going to cry on my deathbed about things I've done, but I will tell you it's absolutely overrated. And the more of it you do, when you first start doing it, you're like, all right, this is kind of cool. But think of it like a video game. Before the game comes out, you're excited for it to come out. You can't wait. And then the game comes out and you play it and you're like, oh, this is the shit. And then you play it for a while and you're like, okay, I'm, get getting a little bored of this. And that's kind of what dating multiple women is like, or you know, having a revolving door of chaos. It's fun at first, but then you're like, fuck this. Like, this is just not even worth the chaos. It's not even worth like fucking my life up and making my situation crazy. I mean, a lot of you guys know there was a time where I was streaming consistently and making YouTube videos consistently. And then it just stopped. And then if you look at my Twitter, there's a very strong correlation of what started and what stopped. Turned out, you know, yeah, hard to stay disciplined and motivated to, you know, put the work into this YouTube channel when fucking a bunch of hoes. Like, it's just not it's chaos, and it's not worth it. It's just, the sex isn't even good. It's just kind of dumb. Now let's talk about the blue pill, which is for the most part the mainstream ideology and what society tells you. Now, what I think they get right, it ain't much, but they do get a few things right. Number one, I do genuinely think that long-term relationships with people that have similar values to you and compatibility with you is the best experience for both men and women. I think that finding a good person for you that you are attracted to, that you enjoy their company, is just a better way to live life than this weird revolving door of degeneracy. I think that men and women, assuming they share values and are attracted to each other and have a degree of desire for each other, are just a good compliment from one another. I enjoy seeing my girl just dance around the kitchen as she makes pancakes with the dog, like just dumb shit. Like, that has nothing to do with red pill, success, money, pussy, success, money, pussy, success, money, pussy. Like, that's like the only thing they preach. But the reality is that at the end of the day, you kind of just appreciate like the little things where, you know, you just kind of appreciate that softness and that like goofiness of whatever it is, like whatever that intangible fucking shit is. It's hard to even put a value on. It's not a biological value. It's just, I don't know, it's fun, kick back and relax, just the yin to your yang. I sound like some hippie bullshit, but like there really is a lot of value in that, which is why I think that ultimately finding somebody that you really mesh with is the ultimate experience. And the final thing the blue pill gets right is that men don't need women, and women sure as fuck do not need men. Certainly not like they used to. And what that means is that you better be wanted. You better be a man or woman that is capable of being wanted. If you're lonely as a guy, a lot of that might have to do with the fact that women do not want you. If you are lonely as a woman and you think men have commitment issues, they don't. They have issues committing to you. You are not worthy of being committed to. And that is a tough pill to swallow, but the blue pill is absolutely right in the sense that men don't need women, and women sure as fuck don't need men. So you better be worthy of being wanted and being desired. Otherwise, you're probably not going to get it. Now on to what the blue pill gets wrong. And oh my God, is the list extensive. Number one thing the blue pill gets wrong is that they pretend that men and women are the same when it comes to sex. Society has pushed that women can be just like men, and they can fuck a whole bunch of dudes, and there's no ramifications to that, and there's no long-term mental effects to that, and yeah, you can just be a total hoe and have a hoe phase and hot girl summer, and there's no ramifications to any of that because they're just like guys, and their brains work just like guys, and they release all the same chemicals just like guys, and women are just like men, and men are just like women. It's fucking ridiculous. Everyone that's thought about this even a little bit knows this is ridiculous, but even the science backs it up. When a man orgasms, his brain releases dopamine. When a woman orgasms, her brain releases much more oxytocin. Now, what does that mean? Men experience orgasms, and it's the equivalent of eating salty French fries or eating ice cream. That's the same chemical that gets released when a man orgasms. Hey, this is great. More of this, please. When a woman orgasms, their brain releases oxytocin. Sorry, I may be saying that wrong. Which is the same. It's the same hormone the same endorphin that women get when they see their child for the first time. It's the same thing, the same hormone that men get when they see their child for the first time. It's that thing that gives you a bond to your newborn child so you don't just beat it over the head when it starts crying. Women get that when they have good sex with a man and they orgasm. That is fundamentally different. Women get attached to the men they have sex with. That's just how it works. It's pair bonding. It's a thing. Men don't experience that in the same way. They do experience it, but not in the same way. And it's a fundamental difference. We all know at a fundamental level that men and women are just different when it comes to sex. But we live in a clown world that likes to pretend that's not true. Promiscuous women and women that fuck a bunch of dudes are not revered throughout history. The purity of a young virgin woman has been a thing in societies in South America, Africa, places where the people have never interacted before. That has always been something that has been valued. But that is not valued, and in fact is inversely valued with men. The greatest, most revered men throughout history, while they did do, they had their various accomplishments, many of them were complete womanizers. Alexander the Great, Benjamin Franklin, the founding fathers in general, almost all of history's greatest men were womanizers. Look at the money. Look at the dollar bills. This man, Benjamin Franklin, this guy right here, total man whore. He's on the 100. They put him on the fucking 100. And, you know who you don't see? You know who you don't see on the money? You don't see any hoes. Nobody puts hoes on their money because there is no, society does not revere that. At a fundamental base level, society knows it's bullshit. Men just do not get damaged in the same way by promiscuous sex that women do. It's just not the same. If you know a woman that's fucked 100 dudes, your first reaction is, but if you know a guy that's fucked 100 women, your first reaction might be, oh shit, that's a real, playboy or whatever. Your first reaction isn't, oh man, I feel bad for him. You aren't like, you're not wincing. Men don't keep lists of the people they've had sex with. If you ask a woman how many, well, they might not be honest, but a lot of girls have literal lists. Like they have a list of all the people they fucked because it's a big deal. Men, they don't keep track of the number. They sure as fuck don't keep track of all the names and it's not because I think less of these women or because other men think less of these. It's just literally not. And it's not important. It's not relevant. It's not something that I even think about. The next thing the blue pill gets wrong is love and marriage. Now, I want to preface this by saying that if you want to have kids or if you have kids, disregard this because I think that changes the equation. And if you are thinking about having children, I think it is important that both parents are in the household and whatnot. But I'm talking about for single people and single people looking to get married and people that don't want kids, which is an ever-growing amount of people. So, yeah, don't fucking do that. Involving the state in your love life is just goofy. Like, it's just goofy in general, but especially with no-fault divorce, it's really goofy. The sanctity of marriage is over. There is no sanctity in marriage anymore. We have no-fault divorce. Men, I mean, you can't deny it. Men just, for the most part, get fucked in divorce. At this point, so many young men have seen their dads and brothers and uncles and whoever get fucked over in divorce over and over and over again that they're just not getting married. So I don't think this is even really a hot take anymore. The biggest problem with marriage isn't even divorce, which is crazy to say. It's not even the fact that you can lose all your stuff and lose a lot of your net worth to legal fees and just bullshit and have your life completely flipped upside down. The biggest problem is that it's an excuse to get lazy and complacent. If you can never lock someone down, then that means that you have to be putting your best effort forward. You have to be putting your best foot forward and improving yourself. You can't just get excessively fat and lazy. You can't become a miserable, insufferable person because the other person can just leave you without having to call up a lawyer and change their entire life. This isn't going to be very romantic sounding, but incentive structures are incredibly important in any kind of relationship, even if it's a business relationship. Would you rather have a rock solid legal contract where you could sue the other person if they, went against you and fucked you over? Or would you rather have the agreement be so good for both parties that neither party would even want to fuck over the other person because it's not even in their best interest to do that? That is how your relationship should be. It should be in your best interest for both people to be the best version of themselves. That's best for everyone. Yes, it does mean you're going to have to continually work and not just throw in the towel, but you're both going to be happier if you both do that. It's in the best interest of your romantic relationship if both of you have options. I want other guys to want to fuck my girlfriend. No guy wants to be with a girl where every other guy goes, ugh, I wouldn't want to be with her at all. No. And no girl wants to be with a guy who is a fat fucking loser that has nothing going on. So it's in your best incentive to be a person that is desired by other people. And what love is when somebody has options, when she has options and you have options, but you both choose each other because you both, that's the best choice. Like, it's just the best choice because you both, that's what it is. That's the magic. The magic isn't you don't have any choices and you're stuck with me. Like, that's not what that is. We'll get to that here in a second, but it's far better if both of you have to put your best foot forward. Another benefit of not being able to lock somebody down and being in a constant state of self-improving for the other person is that it becomes hard to replace that other person. You genuinely get loyalty from the other person because they objectively can look around and go like, oh man, this my girl really got on my nerves, but I mean, realistically, where am I going to find another woman who has these values, who's staying in shape and has all these other things I like? You're less likely to throw in the towel, and you're more likely to give the other person some grace. And maybe they are wrong about something. Maybe they did kind of treat you like shit, but like if they are genuinely trying to be the best version of themselves, you're more likely to give them some leeway. They are the employee that you cannot replace. They are the employee that does the job that nobody else knows how to do. You got to be that person. You got to be hard to replace. If you're hard to replace, your girl's going to treat you better. If she's hard to replace, you're going to treat her better. Subconsciously, again, not very romantic. People are going to say, you should treat your partner good all the time. Look, everybody gets complacent. Everybody takes people for granted. But if you are setting up safeguards and setting things up in a way to where you are incentivized not to take somebody for granted, you certainly will not. Incentives work much better than rules and contracts. The world works on incentives, and relationships are no different. The only time I think true love genuinely exists is when you have a couple that has grown old together and they are both legitimately each other's best options. When they're both 70 years old, they both have health problems and quirks, and nobody else is going to put up with you and nobody else is going to put up with me. I'm with you, you're with me, and they're ribbing each other and giving each other crap all the time, and they get in fights, and it's like the couple from Everybody Loves Raymond, the grandma and the grandpa from that show. Those people are genuinely in love. That old couple is genuinely in love, and it's very cute. That's why I like old people, like old couples. It's fucking it's heartwarming. It is the most wholesome thing ever. That situation is far different than the newlyweds in their 20s. The newlyweds in their 20s, they aren't in love. They're not in love at all. They're probably statistically not even going to make it. But that old couple, they are. And the reason you know they are is because unfortunately when one of them dies, almost always the other one right behind them, especially if the wife dies first. If the wife dies first, that man's dead. You know he's not making another 2 years. Like if he makes it more than 2 years, that is an anomaly. And a lot of the times the women do a little bit better with this, but man, it's tragic when when one of them goes, because the other one a lot of times ain't far off. So that's genuine love. Now on to the next lie of the blue pill, and that is women are absolutely lied to. Modern society lies to women in a way that is completely ridiculous. It's honestly kind of sad, and I'm going to use the girl I'm dating as an example. I like this girl. This girl, genuinely, good influence on my life. And even she has fallen for some of the lies. The number one biggest lie is that men will care about your career. When I told my girlfriend that I didn't give a fuck about her sales career, she was shocked. She's like, what? You actually don't care at all about my career? Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a singular fuck. You get 0 bonus points for that. You could exhibit the same qualities and values you have now and work at Burger King. I'd still like you. I would think the same of you. You could work at Burger King, 7-Eleven, a gas station, or be the fucking CEO of Pfizer for all I fucking care. If you have the values and qualities that I like, I will like you regardless of what you are. When I told her that, her fucking mind melted. But then she came around to the fact that that's actually like kind of romantic, that I like her and not what she is. I like her, like the girl, not what the girl is. Another lie I thought was pretty funny, and this has got to be a lie projected by women, but she was self-conscious about the fact that she was like a bit of a shut-in. She's a little bit shy. She's a nerd. She hasn't really experienced some of the things other women have, and she felt like self-conscious about that. I think any guy would want to be the first person to do something with whatever, with their girlfriend. Like if you are the first person to take her somewhere or to do something, that's only a good thing. I think most guys would prefer that if they had the option to be the first person. That's fantastic. I think the dream woman for a lot of men would be some Ethiopian queen who's never seen running water before. You take her to your apartment, you turn the sink on, be like, I got it like that, girl. Like, that's only a good thing. Why you're self-conscious about being a bit of a shut-in is like being a nerd, like being a shut-in. Like, what the fuck? That's a positive. That's a green flag. It's just completely bizarre that there are so many women that genuinely do not know what men look for in a woman that they are trying to be serious with. It's crazy. They just listen to other women that are somehow empowered, but they can't put the dots together that those women aren't, like, they're usually lonely, or they don't have anyone themselves. It's utterly bizarre. And it was like eye-opening to me when I'm talking to a girl I like and she doesn't even know why I like her. Like, she doesn't even know the actual qualities of why I chose her over everyone else, beyond the fact that I'm just attracted to her and whatever. But like, I had to like sit her down and be like, you know why I like you, right? Like, many of the things you are self-conscious about are the reasons I like you. I like you because you don't have tattoos, because you don't have fucking weird piercings, because you are not addicted to your phone. The fact that you lose your phone and don't know where it is, I mean, it's in the other room and we have to go find, like, that's a quality. I like that you aren't on Instagram posting pictures of your ass for attention and validation. I like that you're shy. Many of the things, it's so bizarre. And I'm not somebody, again, I'm not somebody that's against Instagram or really even against, posting a picture of your butt. If you work out, you look good, you put time in the gym. I get, you want to show it off. Like, look at the shirt I'm wearing. Come on. I'm wearing this shirt. I look good in this shirt. I know I look good in this shirt. Part of the reason I wear this shirt is I know I look good. I'm not even against that. Show off what you work for. But there is a line to be crossed. I like that her parents are not divorced. My parents are divorced. It's, I guess I'm a bit of a hypocrite, but her parents have been married for 35 years. That tells me that she has seen her parents likely disagree and argue about things, and probably is aware of how to handle that situation. I like that I can challenge her viewpoints on things, and she doesn't get emotional and start crying and get mad and go and take the argument emotionally. I like that I can verbally spar with her. These are qualities that I think a lot of women genuinely don't understand are valuable. Like, they don't understand that, like those qualities I listed off, there's probably a lot of guys watching this video going, holy shit, where did you find, does she have a sister? Like, what the fuck? Like, those are the things that matter much more, to at least to me, than whatever the fuck is being preached as by other women. Like, shit. I never in my fucking life have I seen a woman giving advice to other women about how to argue with somebody. Like, oh, if somebody disagrees with you, don't cry. Like, don't appeal to emotion. Like, God, that is very attractive that she does not do that. And the final lie of the blue pill is that there's the one for you. Now, this sounds counterproductive because I've just been preaching about how I think long-term relationships and finding one individual person is better than a revolving door of hoes. But there is no one person for you. The reality is there's a bunch of people for you. But finding that person is very difficult. And realistically, the only way you're going to find somebody that is genuinely good for you is that you have to have options. You have to have options, especially in today's modern society where the values, like maybe back in the day that wasn't the case because people had much more homogenous values. But if you're looking to find somebody that, you know, shares similar values to you with how polarized people are nowadays, your only option is to have options. You better have choice with who you pick, which means that you need to be a winner. You need to at least be not a loser. You don't need to be some multi-billionaire, whatever, Bugatti driver to find a good girl. But you can't be a loser, because if you don't have options, then you will find yourself in a no-win scenario. And society likes, it's okay for women to have options, you know, go queen, slay queen. But if you, as a man, exercise your options and play the field, you're all of a sudden a fuckboy or whatever. But yeah, if you want to find a good girl, you're probably going to have to wade through a bunch of shit. And you're going to have that agency to at least test drive these women and see if they're worth a damn. Like, you have to have options if you want to find a good one. That's really the only way. You're not going to stumble into the one and it be the only, like, that's just not going to happen. Now on to the most dangerous ideology, and that is the black pill. The black pill is by far the most damaging pill and is genuinely something that I wish wasn't a thing. I think ignorance is bliss when it comes to the black pill. I like to compare the black pill to live leak videos. There are many videos on live leak of people dying and getting their heads cut off with chainsaws and whatever. These videos, watching these videos does not make you a better person. In fact, you are a worse person for seeing them. This is the black pill. Having knowledge of the black pill is never good. It's never good. Nobody's like, thank God for the black pill. I'm glad I knew that. Glad I learned that little tidbit of knowledge. The black pill is largely just a culmination and a compilation of the most depressing statistics imaginable. It's just a big pity party. And the problem with the black pill is that many of these statistics are actually true and are getting worse. That's why the black pill has power, is because there is a lot of truth to it. Now, I will say that the black pill, there are a lot of self-diagnosed black pill doomers that are, quite frankly, men that could dramatically improve their situation with just a little bit of effort. Or, in some cases, some of these black pill people are like legit fucking 7 out of 10s. It's bizarre. There are black pilled people on YouTube talking about how they're just going to be alone forever. And I know motherfuckers that can barely read that look worse than them that are doing fine. So some of these people genuinely are in their own head, but some of these black pill doomers, they post their pictures and they're fucked. Some of them genuinely have some birth defects and disabilities, and it is going to make finding a partner that has a genuine burning desire for them, like what you want, like you want that girl that is just fucking crazy about you, that's just fucking obsessed with you. Good luck. Like, the reality is that some of these people are doomed. Like, some of these people really are fucked. They have disabilities or whatever. That it's going to make it hard to find that. There's no point in trying to debunk the black pill because many of the arguments and statistics they cite are accurate and are actually getting worse. It's rough. The only real argument to the black pill is saying you're not actually a doomer. You actually could improve your situation, which I don't really want to argue that. That's very individualistic and we have to generalize for the sake of a YouTube video. But I will argue the antithesis of the black pill, and that is the white pill, which is something I consider myself to be. As I said previously, many of these self-identified incel black pill doomers are not actually doomed. They really could improve their situation, or they have just some mental like body dysmorphia, like they have just terrible self-esteem. Like some of these people look totally fine. Like they look actually pretty good, some of them. But even if you do get a bad roll of the dice, let's say you really are fucked. Life is still worth living. Genuinely, life really is worth living. There's a lot of good things in life that have nothing to do with sex, the opposite gender, families, none of that. When I think back to my happiest moments, none of them are about fucking a bunch of hoes. That's never been the thing. None of them are even really about girls or relationships or any of that shit. I think back to my happiest moments and it's playing World of Warcraft at age 12 and 13 with my buddies and experiencing this crazy world, or having Halo LAN parties, or just bullshitting with your friends, doing dumb stuff. Moments with your family, like where we went to the wrong family reunion and didn't know until we were there for 20 minutes and we got a call from the other gazebo that we were at the wrong, like that kind of stuff but that's the best moments in life. It's not about fucking a bunch of hoes. It's not about making a bunch of money. When I look back to the highlight reel moments of my life, it's always just dumb shit. It's just dumb, wholesome, happy stuff like that. It's not the highlight reel moments or the things that society puts value to. It's the things that mean nothing to they don't mean anything to anybody else but you. Life is a series of trade-offs. And just because you don't have something doesn't mean that you are necessarily deficient in life. And I'm going to give you an example. So let's say there's a man who has a wife and 2 kids. He loves his wife and his 2 kids. They are his world. He would die for his wife and his 2 kids. Now, his wife is taking his 2 kids up to go see their grandma for 4 days. 4-day weekend, just the mom, kids, and the grandparents. And the dad is staying home 4-day weekend by himself. Do you think this man is going to be upset and be crying about the fact that his wife and his kids are gone for a 4-day weekend? No, he's going to be so happy that he's got the house to himself. He's just going to kick back and honestly do nothing. He's probably just going to enjoy the fact that he has an empty nest. That's the reality, is that there's trade-offs to everything. And even that man that loves his wife and his 2 kids really is going to appreciate a break from it all. So there's pros and cons to literally everything. I myself am somebody that has struggled with black-pilled nihilism, and not due to frustrations with society or romance or anything like that, but just being aware of the fact that we are on a rock that is flying through the universe at 70,000 miles an hour, orbiting a sun that is orbiting a black hole that is so powerful that time stops. Like, just knowing that we are an infinitesimally small, insignificant speck in the universe just makes you wonder, like, what is the point of all? Like, what the fuck is the point of all of this? Instead of being sad and going, what is the point of life? What is the point of all of this? None of this matters. Instead of saying that, why not flip it on its head? Why not go, hey, we're on a rock that's going 70,000 miles per hour through space. We're orbiting an entity so powerful that time stops. Why bother being miserable? All of this is pointless. Why not have a good time? Why not be a white-pilled nihilist instead of a black-pilled nihilist? That's the way I like to view it. Some of you may be depressed, black-pilled nihilist doomers, and you're sad because you think that you don't have something that you should have, and maybe if you had that thing, you'd be happy. But the reality is that the human condition and the hierarchy of needs is very weird. It's a very weird world we live in where you have to enjoy the process. There are people in Africa fighting tooth and nail to stay alive. And every day they stay alive and they get that meal or they find that water or whatever, they are happy. And there are Twitch streamers that are in luxury penthouse apartments that just can't take it anymore and jump to their death. That should tell you everything you need to know about the human condition. It has nothing to do about the having things that are not having things you think you should have or missing out. It's just this bizarre comparative thing. And the only real solution is that you have to just be okay with the process and life and what you've got, because you're not deficient. You're not. I know a guy that sold his company for $9 million. Young guy, multimillionaire, in shape, winning. He's young. He's rich. He's good looking. What's he got to lose? Like, he sold his company. Like, dude, he wins, right? He wins. He ended up being miserable because he sold this company and then he had no purpose because his company was his life for pretty much his whole life. Ended up becoming depressed. And he stopped being retired. You know, he was going to do that whole, I worked my whole life away. I sold my company. Now I have time and money. I don't need to work anymore. The work was what gave him the happiness. So now he's back to work. He's starting up a new thing. And that's how he gets his fulfillment, is that he works. So life is weird, man. The people that have it all, a lot of times, they don't. And you think you may be missing out, and maybe, if I just had this thing, I'd be happy, or, if I just figured this out, I'd be happy. You won't be. Eventually, you will get that thing. You'll get that. You'll achieve that goal. You'll get that thing. You'll get in shape. Whatever it may be, whatever your goal may be, you got to enjoy the process. Otherwise, you'll still be miserable when you finally do cross the finish line. In conclusion, I think dogmatically following any one personality or any one ideology is a recipe for disaster. I think that the only real thing you can do is just diversify where you're getting your information and where you're getting your viewpoints, and just trying to have a diverse information diet. We live in the information era. I'm not going to say to not consume particular content because people are curious and want to consume it anyway. But I think just like with politics, nobody's going to be objectively honest. Everybody's going to have their bias. So you might as well just expose yourself to a bunch of different biases. That way you can come up with a strategy that works best for you. I think that when it comes to a lot of these ideologies, people need to take the good with the bad. That's something that society struggles with in general. I think that's where the red pill really gets in trouble, is that some of these people are just controversial by design. That's how they reel people in. But if I had to be a pill, if I had to pick one, if I had to create my own super pill, it would be a halfway red pill and a halfway white pill, or maybe a pink pill. I'm not sure. But I think some combination of the red pill will prepare you for the realities of life, but life is worth living. Like, goddamn, like, yeah, life is tough, and yeah, you're going to have to do the work, and you're going to have to improve yourself, but there's more to life than money, status, pussy, money, success, pussy, money, success, pussy. Like, there's more to life than that. Not everyone is bad. In fact, there are a lot of very great people out there, but you're going to have to do the work and weed through the ones that are not a good fit for you. And the only way you can do that is to have options. So the antidote is winning. You got to win, but also life is worth winning. Stop and smell the roses. You got to enjoy the roses. Otherwise, even if you get to the destination, you're still going to be miserable. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed my take on the various pills. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have a good one. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe with notifications on. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and join the Discord. It's free.